channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I'm Monica, and today's video is a favorites video. I did one of these like 2 to 3 months back, and since then I have continued to love those products I talked about, but I also discovered / rediscovered products that have also become favorites / re-become favorites. Some of these are new, actually most of them are new, and then I think maybe one makeup product and then 5 like beauty products are not new. They're just like rediscoveries that I have really been loving on. So I'm going to do this like I did the last video, where I put as many of them as I can on in live time with you guys, sort of. You'll be seeing this after lifetime, but you know what I mean. And then I'll cover the rest of the favorites after I fully get ready. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in and see how many of these favorites I can put on my face. And I'm gonna show you why I love all these products so much. So before I jump into this, I did want to make a quick note that I just put up a video that covers 10 drugstore products that rival high-end. So those are all favorites too, but I'm not including them in today's video because I literally just talked about them. So if you happen to see that, those are also favorites. These are just the ones that I didn't cover / they're not drugstore makeup products, so they wouldn't be in there. But yeah, anyway, I do have 2 mascaras to talk about. One is drugstore and one is high-end. You may be wondering, why didn't you cover this in the drugstore, like 10 drugstore products that rival high-end video? It's because I had to eliminate some, and so there were some products that got cut that I still love, but I was trying to just talk about 10 products, so I didn't include this one. But this is the Maybelline Firework mascara. First of all, I love the package. It is so cute. I don't know why I call it package, but the tube. I love the hot pink. I'm all for a pink moment. I got this in the shade Black Brown. It's got this rubberized wand, but I really enjoy it. It's like a rubberized version of like the Rare Beauty wand. In fact, let me see if I can show you. My Rare Beauty mascara is beaten up and battered. Look at that, oh my gosh. So this is like my all-time favorite mascara, but if you kind of look at this, the bristles are slightly longer, but if you compare it, they're somewhat similar, and I find that I get a similar effect on the lashes. I have really been enjoying this. I feel like it does such a nice job of lengthening the lashes on the first coat, and then the second coat is really where volume kind of comes to play. Even though, you know, I feel like I do get some volume on that first layer, I do feel like the second layer, oh my gosh, just got it everywhere. I do feel like the second layer is where volume really starts to build, but honestly, it is so pretty on that first coat. I have really been into brown and like burgundy mascaras, so that was part of the reason this got cut from last week's video, but I love this one so much, and I feel like Maybelline always kills it with mascaras. They've been killing it with mascaras since before I was in high school, so you can always rely on them. While I let this coat dry, I don't know why I still have this in the box. I have a tendency to hoard boxes for products. In fact, we're just gonna throw it away right now. But while I let this one dry, the Maybelline one, I'm gonna go in with the Milk Kush High Roll Mascara. This is a tubing mascara, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy the Cali Ray tubing mascara and talked about that in my last favorites video. And those two, or yeah, this one and that one, are the only tubing mascaras I really love. This one is so nice. I feel like it gives a very similar look to the Maybelline Firework mascara, except it's tubing, but you can kind of see like just that one layer. It's really nice. I do typically find that tubing mascaras, it's like a one and done sort of thing. You can't apply more than one coat. This one is not like that, neither is the Cali Ray one that I just mentioned / talked about in my last favorites video. But I do feel like 2 coats is where this shines. So I'm gonna jump back to the Maybelline Firework mascara and give this one another coat, because I really want you to see the magic that happens when you apply a second coat. I feel like it just really takes it to another level. So there's that second coat. I feel like it is so like fluffy looking, very butterfly, fluttery look going on, and I really like it. This mascara has been one that I just really can't stop reaching for. I find it is so nice, and it may be my favorite Maybelline mascara since the one that was like in the red tube. They don't make that one. They just discontinued it, I think like 8 to 10 years ago. If I can find a picture, I'll pop it on the screen, but that was my all-time favorite mascara, like in high school and pretty much all the way through until it got discontinued. This one is so amazing. So just wanted to shout that one out. We're gonna go back in now with the Milk one, and I'm going to do a second layer so you can really see how this one can build up as a tubing mascara. I feel like that is really unusual, like I kind of mentioned just a second ago. And this is very special, and I really enjoyed the formula. So there is that second layer. Look at how beautiful that length is and that volume. I feel like I have two similar looks going on with the mascaras, and they're really kind of different formulas in the way that they were actually formulated, but the way they perform is so similar, and I love the look I get with both of them. I will say, I don't think you need to necessarily buy this unless you're looking for a good tubing formula. This is one of the best, and obviously the Cali Ray one, but the drugstore just hasn't quite gotten to the same level that the higher end brands have when it comes to tubing formulas. So I do feel like this is something, if you're really just a tubing formula kind of person, this is something worth splurging on. I really, really love it. So yeah, loving the way my eyelashes are looking. Let's get into eyeshadow. So the eyeshadow palette that I want to feature in today's video is the Natasha Denona Golden Palette. I have been absolutely obsessing over this. I had like just recently gotten it and decided to take it on vacation with me because I love it so much. It is such a neutral approach to like warm tone neutrals. Like it doesn't lean so warm to where I find that it's a little bit too strong for my personal like preference and, you know, color palette, I guess. So I absolutely have been loving this. The only one that like kind of throws me off is this white shade, which is the shade Aura. I feel like if that were like a more of a champagne-y sort of shade, that would be probably a little bit more cohesive, but honestly, I just love this palette so much, and I'm so excited to play with it. Used to be a Natasha Denona hater. If you've been here for a bit, you probably knew that I kind of hated on them for a bit, didn't understand it, but since their I Need a Nude palette, I have tried 3 other like eyeshadow products from them and have been obsessing. So this is their most recent one that I've been loving. I'm going to go into the shade Flesh right here, take it on my A503 brush that I love so much from BK Beauty. And I mean, typically what I do is take this shade and the shade Fizzy, which is right here, and that's pretty much all I do. Like I'll put Fizzy on the lid, but I'll try to be a little bit more adventurous today. There's only so much adventure that I can reach for because this is a neutral palette, but I absolutely love this. The formula is so smooth and fantastic. The shades, like I already mentioned, are just the perfect approach to a golden palette. It's so much more approachable than something that pulls like really warm and almost like green golden. I feel like this is so much easier to work with in terms of like multiple different skin tones. Now I'm going to go into this shade Aria. I'm going to take it on the exact same brush I just used. I'm not even going to worry about like cleaning the brush off because I'm going to basically go in the same spots that I just put the shade Flesh. I just feel like that looks so nice. So now I want to go into the shade, ooh, let's do Nubia, which is like this rose gold, like really, it almost feels like it's going to crumble, but it's not. And I'm just going to stick that on the center of the lid. Love that. Now I'm going to go into the shade Fizzy that I use constantly. And I'm going to put this all over like the inner corner and kind of mesh it with Nubia. This shade is so delicate in the best way. It's not the same feel as Nubia. It's got almost the feeling of the shimmers in the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette, which you know I love if you've been here for any length of time pretty much. I just love those shimmers so much, and this is very similar. All right, of course I'm loving that. So now I'm going to go into the shade Log, and I'm going to go in on the EO6 brush from Sigma. Love this to line the eyes. So here's the finished eye look. Of course I love it. It looks so good. But we need to move on to face stuff, and we're going to start off with a foundation that has really been blowing up. I have gotten on the Tirtir train. This is the Tirtir Mask Fit Red Cushion Foundation. They do have a smaller one than this. I wish I'd known that because I would have tried that out first. But I do have like the regular size. I am kind of excited that cushion foundations may potentially be coming back because they're so simple. I didn't really love any back in the day, like 8-ish years ago when they were super popular, but I have really been loving this one. This is in my Self Tan shade, which is in the shade Cool Beige. I did also end up picking up another one for myself, which is in the shade 21N Ivory, for when I am fair, but I am so excited to put this on with you guys. So I actually really love to use both like this sponge from e.l.f. I love to use with it, and also the puff it comes with. I am absolutely shocked every time I put this on how much coverage it has in the best way. I just feel like it provides such a great amount of coverage without looking cakey, and honestly it brings such a nice sort of life to your face, and I've really been enjoying it. I wore these earrings. I do this every time because I actually love to wear pretty earrings to film and just in general. And then I'm like, oh, why did I do this every time that I'm applying foundation? See how beautiful that looks? I mean, just such nice coverage. It really does a great job of evening everything out. And I find that this is great for sensitive and acne prone skin. I also kind of deal with a little bit of dryness. My skin has gotten drier as I've gotten older. Used to be more oily combination, now it's more dry combination, but I still deal with like acne issues, still am acne prone, which makes for a fun combination when you're trying to find products, makeup products, skincare products, really any kind of product that you're going to be putting on your face. It makes it so hard to find ones that work with all of those different issues, but this is one that works so nicely with all of them. Dryness, acne, does such a great job of covering. This isn't a dry formula. I don't know how this would work on oily skin, but to be honest, it's not overly dewy. It's more of a satin, which I really like. And so I feel like oily could potentially really like it as well. Of course, I don't have to even talk about it, but I'm going to anyway. The convenience of having a liquid foundation formula in a sponge or a cushion is so nice to travel. If I'm gonna be in the car for a while and I don't want to put makeup on before we leave, I like to have the option to do it in the car without having to deal with liquid. And this is the perfect option for that. It looks so good. Make sure it's blended into my hairline so I can give the illusion that I'm naturally this tan. As you can see, it looks absolutely flawless. My skin looks hydrated but not like sweaty. I really love the finish of it, the coverage of it. It totally deserves the hype. I have absolutely been loving this. I love just throwing it on when I'm trying to be a little bit more put together for like my work day, even though I work from home, or really just in general. It's so super easy, it's really quick, and it provides everything I want. So what more could you ask for? Pretty much nothing. So the next product that I want to talk about is a concealer. I tried this in a trying new high-end makeup video, and this is the new Refy Concealer. It says to shake before use, which I think is so funny. I did end up exchanging it for a different shade, but this is still too light for me being a little tanner right now. This is in the shade 6, and I feel like that's a little misleading, but this is what I use for when I am, you know, fair. So I couldn't get that out, but when I'm fair is when this works. So I am going to get a different shade for when I'm a little bit tanner. I don't even know where to start. I think I'm gonna have to go in store and do this because I did end up picking this up online, and it's still just a little bit light for what I like to go for. I like to be a little bit closer to my skin tone, so this is perfect for when I am fair, but for when I'm tan, it is a little bit lighter than what I enjoy, but the formula is so nice. I like to use it with a sponge or brush. This is the A506 brush that like I've had for years, but it just recently went viral on TikTok. I love to blend this out immediately or let it sit. I really enjoy it pretty much anyway. I don't know if I'd say that it's like my all-time favorite because I do love the Catrice True Skin so much, and that one's $7. This one's obviously a little bit pricier, but I do really enjoy the formula. It's very similar to that. It's just, I don't know, I really have been enjoying it. I've been reaching for it quite a lot, so it is a favorite. But when you have your holy grail that is $7, it's hard to be like, you need to go purchase this, you know what I mean? But I still want to shout it out because I do really enjoy this, and I feel like it just makes you look so much more rested. I have really been dealing with some insomnia this week, and I have found that this is just really help to wake me up. Obviously, the brightness of the product can have something to do with that, but even just the product itself, regardless of the shade, has a nice smoothing effect, and it really just does such a great job of making you look better. So I did put some Maybelline Fit Me loose powder under my eyes and just my smile lines. It's way too hot to leave it not like set like this and humid, so enjoy this look. But I have a couple of bronzers that I'm gonna put on with you guys. I can't cover all of them because I do actually have 3 favorite bronzers right now. I just have to shout this one out. This is the Catrice Melted Sun Cream Bronzer. It is a dupe for another drugstore bronzer, but it's cheaper. I will be including it in my next dupes video, but I have really been loving this and reaching for it. It is in the lighter shade, which is Beach Babe. I think I could probably go for a little bit of a deeper shade for when I'm a little bit tanner, but we're just gonna make it work. I think it'll still be fine. Hopefully I can kind of make this one and the other one go somewhat well together. But this one is just so nice. I love that the drugstore or drugstore price products, because this one you have to get on Amazon if you live in the States. This is just so easy to work with. I just tapped it off like it was a powder. I do that more often than I'd like to admit. I wanted to include this in last week's video, the drugstore one that are better than high-end, but I included a different one that is also amazing that I really have been loving as well. But honestly, I love them both so much. I even said in that video, I think I did, that I had so many cream bronzers from the drugstore I've really been loving, and it was hard to narrow it down to just one. So there are other ones I've really been loving besides this one and that one I talked about, but just look how nice that is. It's so easy, it's so nice. I don't even know if I need to get a deeper shade because I feel like that also works. Maybe not, I don't know. The other one that I've really been loving is the Winky Luxe liquid bronzer. It's called the Cheeky Rose Liquid Sculpt. I don't know, I think it's called the Cheeky Rose because that's just the line, but it gives like the impression that perhaps it's actually a blush when it's not. I actually have it in 2 different shades because I love it so much. I got it originally in the shade Amalfi, which is the lighter one, and for my tanner skin, I'm gonna use the shade Ibiza. I absolutely love the applicator on this. It is so satisfying to use, but I just really like to go kind of lightly. Obviously, it's a little bit darker than the Catrice one. We might have to balance that out. I love to use this with a multitude of different applicators, but today I'm going to be using the Profusion Buffing Foundation Brush, which is what I also used for the Catrice Cream Bronzer. This one is a little bit deeper. May have to kind of mix and match after I do this because I am going to dinner tonight. I have been making an accidental habit of filming before I go out and do stuff, and I'm not just getting Mexican this time like I did last time. I'm going to a nicer Italian restaurant, and so I definitely want to make sure my makeup looks good. Not that I want to look bad at a Mexican restaurant, but you know, it's a little bit dressier than that. It is so easy to work with. It looks so good. I may not even have to even it out. What do you think? You can't tell me, because you're seeing this way after the fact. So here is how that one's looking. I honestly am not the biggest liquid bronzer person, but I am going to mention another one in a little bit that I actually have already used on my channel, but couldn't use it today because I only have so much face. But I have really been loving this one. The applicator, the formula is so easy to work with. So if you're that person who has tried liquid bronzers in the past and you haven't loved them, give this one a try. I think it could kind of convert you into becoming a liquid bronzer person. It is so nice. I do have 2 blushes I've been loving. I think I'm only going to apply one today. I've already used one on camera, so I'm going to use the one that I haven't used on camera. I have talked about this blush line before, but this is a new shade. This is the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow Blush in Seraph. I have been getting more into pink blushes. Never thought I would be there, but here we are. I love this formula so much. I have 2 other shades, which you've heard me talk about. I've got it in the shade Rococo, which I love for when I'm self-tanned for like a bronzery blush. And then I've also got it in the shade Baroque. This was the original one, and this is my all-time favorite blush. So I was pretty excited to pick it up. I love the package too. It's beautiful. So I'm going to go in lightly with this because like I said, I do actually have somewhere to be. and this can be easily built up. So I'm just gonna go in lightly, but I have really been loving this. I already love this formula, like I've mentioned, but the shade is also beautiful. It's so fun too. I probably would only use this in the summer when I'm tanner as opposed to the winter, because I do feel like this would be a little strong on my fair skin. I mean, I can try it before I say that, but it is just a little bright for my fair skin, but I do think it really shines with my tanner skin. I have said it a couple of times, I'm gonna say it again. If I decluttered every single one of my blushes except for this line of blushes that I have, I'd be fine. So now onto the lips. I have really been loving this Ilia Lip Sketch Hydrating Crayon in the shade Banquet. This is literally an all-in-one. It's a lip liner, it's a lipstick. I didn't think I would like this as much as I do. Do I think it's better than some drugstore alternatives? No, but I have been reaching for this quite a lot, and the drugstore has really been killing it there as well, which I mentioned in my last video that I mentioned a bajillion times in this video, so sorry about that. But this one I really do like, just to like literally have for an all-in-one. I love to put this in my purse because it's so easy, so I don't have to like bring a lip liner and lipstick on the go, and I really do enjoy it. So let me show you how this looks. I've actually already used this on camera before, but this is the only like product like this that I have, so might as well show it to you again. As you can see, it is so creamy, so smooth, and it's just a nice all-in-one lip product. I also love this shade so much for when I'm tanner. I do kind of want to get another shade, sort of. I'm trying to restrain myself, but I've been dabbling with the idea of getting a little bit of a lighter shade for when I'm fair, because this is such a nice neutral for when I am tan, but it's a little bit strong for when I'm fair. I mean, it works, but not necessarily for every day, whereas this is quite everyday wear-esque, for lack of a better way of putting that. But I have really been loving this. It is so nice, and really it's one of my favorite Ilia products, to be honest. So I have a couple of lip products I have really been loving. As you know, I do love my e.l.f. lip oil. It's my favorite. I have it in the shade Honey Talks and another shade, but I just really love Honey Talks. I recently tried this Wet n Wild lip oil in the shade Cocoa Rose, and it's got a little bit of shimmer to it. I don't know if it's kind of coming across in the tube. It's not overly noticeable, but it is so beautiful. I'm actually gonna show both of these to you today just because I only have two. And so I'm gonna show you the Wet n Wild first. It's got this, of course you can see, it's got this juicy applicator. You know I love that. So pretty. I honestly think it's just as good as the e.l.f. one and better than high end. I'm gonna put this one on the top. This is the Hard Candy Lip Slide. This is their lip oil. The drugstore / Walmart has been killing it with their lip oils. As you can see, I've already talked about these. e.l.f. is always a favorite. Wet n Wild, so good. This is such a beautiful shade. It's in the shade Sugar Spin. It also has a nice juicy doe foot. I don't know if this is gonna work. This is a little bit of a thinner formula than both of these. I find these are very similar, and they've got a little bit of a thicker formula than this. This is truly very oily, and these kind of teeter between an oil and a gloss, but they're still more lip oily than glossy. But this one is very oily, and I love it. Honestly, I feel like because of the lip liner, these are both working together, which is good. But I love all of these. Okay, I know I've already talked about the e.l.f. a bajillion times on my channel. These are so good. I haven't found any lip oils that are high-end that I love as much as the e.l.f. one, as much as these. They're like, the drugstore is just killing it. They're killing it, okay? All right, so there are some products, of course, that I was not able to demonstrate for you guys today that I do want to shout out because I have absolutely been loving them. I will include clips of me using them, though, from other days, so you can still see a demonstration. But I want to start off with eyeshadow. We're going to go in the same order that we just went in with the products, like when I was trying them out. And I always start with eyes. So I still have a box of this, but this is the Sigma Cool Neutrals palette. I talked about it in the video I tried out, which was that high-end makeup video. This is my favorite package ever. Like, the packaging of this is my favorite. I love the color story, even though I don't feel like Cool Neutrals is necessarily the best way to describe this. But I do love this so much. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it in the winter and fall because it does pull a little bit darker in some areas, but I have really been enjoying using it in the summer as well. I cannot get enough of it. I love Sigma shadows. So we've got this one that I've actually mentioned before and mentioned that you don't need it. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillowtalk quad, like the original Pillowtalk quad. I actually have found several dupes for this that I mentioned in 2 dupes videos ago. I'll link that one up in the eye and down below. But I ended up decluttering the dupes because I ended up spending way more money on this. However, now that I have kind of opened up my collection a little bit, I have been able to really love on this. I love the color store in here. That's really what gets me. I mean, the shadow formula is beautiful. I don't think you need to necessarily pay that amount because there are dupes that I think are great and very comparable in every way. But I do have to admit that I am really loving on this. If I would repurchase it or not is kind of up for debate. I probably wouldn't because I would just go get one of the dupes instead, but I do really like it. And I love the color story when I'm fair and when I'm tan. I have really been loving another CoverGirl eye product from the eye enhancer line. I mentioned their trio in Sweet Plum in the last video, but I have since discovered these. These are their single shadows from the eye enhancer line. I have it in the shade Rose Beam, which is just this pretty frosty rose gold. So pretty to wear alone, or like if you want to just put a little bit of bronzer in your crease and use this as your like lid shade. Absolutely love this. And then for a little bit more of a fun shade, I've got the shade Sterling Blue, which I actually like to use in the same way with bronzer and just a little bit of this because it's not so strong to where it's not wearable or approachable. You could definitely wear this without people being like, she's got like a ton of blue on her eyes. But it does add a little bit of variety, a little bit of pizzazz, I guess, to your eye look without adding too much effort and too much to where it's just a lot going on. I have really been loving this. The eye enhancer line overall from CoverGirl has been killing. I should have mentioned this before the single shadows, but I forgot. This is the Profusion Cosmetics Cozy 5-pan palette. This is stunning. Look how beautiful this is. So many great neutrals. Then you've got this like moussey shade over here. This is basically a dupe for the M Cosmetics like moussey eye. I can't remember the name, but I'll put it on the screen. It's literally like a dupe for that. It is so punchy. I wouldn't suggest maybe wearing that every day. You can if you want to. You can do whatever you want. If you are looking for something that has a nice gleam to your eye, this is great. This entire eyeshadow 5-pan palette is beautiful. I love it so much. Love the formula, love the shades. I really just love to use like the matte shades on a daily basis. And honestly, this like creamy white ivory shade over here is great for just all over the lid. If you're wanting a more natural look, love it. And I love that you have the option of a sparkle. So I've got 2 more makeup products I want to shout out before we go through the few lifestyle / body beauty, I guess. This is the new Kosas Blush is Life blush. This is very similar to the M Cosmetics. I still like the M Cosmetics formula a little bit better, but I do really enjoy this. It's way smaller than I was picturing. I thought it was going to be the size of the M Cosmetics. I'll give you like a reference because the M Cosmetics is quite a bit bigger, as you can see. But honestly, I love this so much for like blush, bronzer, highlight sort of situation because it is called Dreamland and it's described as like a blushy bronze if I'm remembering right. But I do really like this. I have been reaching for it quite a lot and it is very beautiful. And then lastly for makeup, the Saie Dew Bronze is beautiful. I used this and tried it out in that recent high-end makeup video. It is so nice. Like I said, I wasn't big into cream bronzers. There's actually one from LA Colors that is a dupe for the Glossier one that I do really enjoy. But overall, I haven't really loved them. I do love that the Winky Luxe and the Saie both have an applicator. Instead of just being in a squeezy tube, I do prefer that. It's way easier than to have to like get it out and like dot it on your face. Though I do enjoy that LA Colors one that is formatted like that. But this is so nice. It's so easy to work with. I have this in the shade Sand, which I believe is the lightest shade. And it is so pretty. I just love it so much. I think it is so easy to work with. I think it's so easy to blend. And honestly, I do kind of feel like it may be worth the price just because I don't know of a drugstore one. Like this Winky Luxe one I think is almost 20 bucks, so it's not really that much of a dupe considering this one's not that much more than it. So yeah, but they don't really have a drugstore one that competes. But if they did, I would try it out. But to be honest, so far this one is definitely worth it. So let's talk about some body products. I want to shout out my deodorant. This is the Secret Outlast Sweat and Odor pH Balancing Minerals 72-hour clear gel and completely clean. I want to talk about this for a second because I have tried a lot of deodorants. I've tried natural ones. I've tried other aluminum-free ones that aren't necessarily natural, but they don't have aluminum. I'm over it, okay? The only one that is like completely aluminum-free that does help keep the sweaty smell away is one from Saie or however you pronounce it, but it's also more expensive, and I was just tired of having to purchase expensive deodorants that kind of ran out quickly, of course, because you're using them. So I went back to this one. This was my favorite and only deodorant I used in high school. I was in the band, one time at band camp, blah, blah, blah. And I was sweating constantly, of course, during that time of year because it's so hot. I live in Alabama, it's humid, it's hot, and nothing can keep the smell away except for this, and then a Saie one, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about this one. I stopped using it for a bit because I realized it was kind of like staining my clothes, but I repurchased it, have been using it for a bit now, and it has not stained any one of my clothes, so I'm thinking they fixed that, but the rest of the formula is exactly the same. It smells really good, it lasts all day, I don't have to reapply. I wouldn't say it necessarily lasts 72 hours because I haven't tried it for 3 days straight because I shower, but it is fantastic. It lasts without needing reapplication, and it now is way bigger than it used to be. It used to be like, I think it like stopped right here. So it says it's 30% bigger. So I think next time I get it, I'll get it in the double pack. I just, honestly, you gotta try it out. So like I've mentioned a billion times, probably an annoying amount, I have been self-tanning because I have actually just been enjoying being a little bit tanner. And of course, one thing that you need to look for when you self-tan is a lotion or body butter, whatever, that will help keep your skin moisturized, which will then in turn keep your self-tanner from fading super quickly. And this is base is literally empty, actually. I thought it was basically, I mean, there's a little bit in there, but I have to go repurchase this literally on the way to dinner this evening because I cannot live without it. This is the Osea or Osea, I don't know how to pronounce it, Algae body butter. I never thought I would want a bougie body butter, but here we are. I've talked about this in one other video and like maybe one empties video, but I want to talk about it again because I have been using it every single day, twice a day, because I shower twice a day. I don't want to get into that, but I just feel like that works for me. And so in order to keep myself tanner lasting, because obviously the more you shower, the faster it'll fade, this has been helping. I have been making myself tans last like a week and a half, which is long for me. So I eliminate how much I self-tan, which means I'm using less self-tanner. I obviously, it all balances out because I'm still having to use this, but I absolutely love it. Plus it smells so good. It smells like oranges. I also love it if you have drier skin, like body skin. This is excellent as well. I use it in the winter and really enjoy it for when I have my drier skin come through, and it's amazing. I don't think there's anything out there that competes with this. It is not super oily feeling, it just is hydrating, and you don't feel super sticky. Like, I'm not extra glowy or anything. I don't necessarily love that feeling. I feel gross and oily when I do that, or like when I have a product on that provides that. So this really is all about hydration, and it is worth the high price tag. So I want to talk about some scents. I have talked about this one before, not a ton, but enough to where you've probably heard it before. But this is one I haven't talked about. So this is obviously a body, well, it's a hair and body mist. This is the Mixbar Salt Petals. Hair and body mist Salt Petals is the name. It is so nice. I love to wear a scent pretty much all the time. Maybe not at night all the time, but I don't necessarily want to waste my good, expensive perfume when I work from home, but I still want to smell nice for myself or whatever. And this is a great option for that. It's not expensive at all. It smells divine. It actually smells very similar to the perfume I'm going to be talking about, and it lasts really nice for a hair and body mist. I would say it lasts a good 6 to 8-ish hours on me, probably closer to 6 if I'm out doing stuff, but if I'm at home it lasts a little bit longer because obviously I'm not moving around and sweating or whatever. But it actually lasts pretty well, so that's a win for me. You can get it from Target. I absolutely love it. Lastly, the Replica perfume in Sailing Day is my favorite, my all-time favorite summer scent. I don't do well at defining notes, which is funny because I'm good at like describing what something smells like. Like, oh, I can be like, oh, this lip balm smells like something from my childhood. But this, I don't know how to describe perfumes, but this is just exactly what you'd want from a summer scent. It's not extra florally if you're not into that. It's definitely more of like a beachy scent, but not like, I don't even know how to, it's just nice. It just smells like summer. You smell like spring, you smell like summer. You just smell good. In fact, I think I'm gonna put this one on today for going to dinner. I, of course, am going to apply it on my wrists, rub it in, kind of dab it in. I don't necessarily use a ton, but I don't skimp. This is so nice. I just love the way it smells. I get so many compliments on it. I was at the dentist one time, and the hygienist, I couldn't think of, she was like, oh my gosh, you smell so good, what are you wearing? And I was like, I'm wearing this. I've had this for almost 2 years now, and I've still got that much left. I will probably have to repurchase it for next summer, but I have absolutely been loving this. I wear this quite a bit. When I'm not wearing this, I'm usually wearing this, unless I'm just like trying to switch it up and using one of the other perfumes I have. But those are my favorite scents to wear. I love them so much. If you want a fresher scent, but not like laundry fresh, just like not florally, if that makes any sense. But anyway, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like it was really long, so hopefully editing Monica did a good job of kind of cutting it down a little bit in time. But I hope that you enjoy any of these products if you happen to try them. I highly recommend all of them, and any favorites I've mentioned in the past are still favorites. I'm not somebody to be won over easily by favorites, so if I had a smaller collection, I would obviously have a lot less favorites, but when you expose yourself to that side of the world and you get to really try out a bunch, which I do because of what I do over here on YouTube, I get to try out the best of the best and the worst of the worst, and these are the best of the best. I love them so much. I cannot believe I love a bright pink blush, but here we are. And of course it was M Cosmetics to really sell me on it, so absolutely love that. Absolutely love every single one of these products. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and hit that notification bell down below so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Also subscribe if you have not already. If this happens to be the first time that you're on my channel or that you found my channel, definitely go check out the rest of it and just see if you like what I put out there. I do vlogs, I do beauty, we do like a little bit of an assortment of things over here, and if you like what you see, definitely subscribe. Like I said, I'd love to have you become a part of my online family long term. But anyway, that is it. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys have the best rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one.